Now this is completely wrong. Let me before I started, the MAF sensor is in a completely wrong position, very close to the turbo compressor, and it shouldn't be like this. I've just quickly bodged it in just to try for the ECU to try to do some map compensation for the fueling, just trying to make it run good-ish, alright, because everything is connected, but this is running completely NA setup with the turbo, and the turbo system is connected, so not ideal. But obviously we can run it without any load. So let's see if it actually holds the idle at least. Ah, bollocks. Again. Do you know what? Let's do it this way, because I have my remote throttle. Not even sure the MAF sensor is okay. So, try to start it. And hold the idle on myself. That's better, but it's rough. Obviously. The moment you go off the idle, it's fine. Well, not fine, but it's obviously. What an asshole. Yeah, the engine wasn't cold. I had it running before, so don't worry. This wasn't the first start. So, yeah. Alright, let me start from the beginning. I shouldn't make this video today. I should make this video next week. Well, actually this weekend, because there's supposed to be a surprise where the surprise is delayed. It's going to be here only end of next week. So, fuck it. I'm going to do 2 different videos. As you can see, the bus system is done, which is my very nice clamps. They are not solid. Some people thinking they're solid. They allow for quite a lot of movement. And yes, they feel. And yes, they hold a lot of pressure. Yes, baby. Anyways, turbo system is done. Like I said, the MAF sensor is in a critically bad position, very close to the compressor and actually very much bodged together. So this is one of the reasons it's not running right. Also, another reason it's not running right is that now it has a turbo system, quite a big compressor, and these compressors, they spool quick. Well, spool quick, they still supply you more end than the engine is mapped to, because it's just NA. So obviously it's not running right. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, we have it pretty much there. I still have to do the tweak, so I have to remove the fuel rail and obviously make a nice space, and not this one, just weld something nice and neat on this and put the fuel rail back on. The electrical system is almost finished. Both ECUs gonna be here, and obviously have to get tidy up and shorten some of the wires. The battery is not gonna be this one. We're gonna go for the lithium battery with a nice tray from the Motormech. We like them very much. The fuel pressure regulator, obviously we're going to change it for the correct one, a nice good one. This is the one we use in for testing and all that stuff. It stays in the workshop. Obviously clean the car after, and then it's going to be time to obviously build the bulkhead, the engine cover, to say so. But besides that, everything is it's taking shape very quickly. But the real reason for this video is that recently with Steve we have been very, very childish, because it was 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days. Yeah, 2 days ago. it was 4 o'clock, and I wanted to go home. It was like, I finished early today, but then I was like, you know what, this VR5 is starting now, is running because I got the, wiring sorted out. We have already the exhaust manifold with the turbo attached to it, and it was like, I wonder how long it's gonna take me to make the oil lines, the oil feed line for the turbo, and oil return line from the turbo to the sump. As usual, it's like, well, it's not gonna take me long, so let's do it. So we turbo the VR5 in the car, which is not really turbo because the turbo is on the exhaust side, is lubricating all the stuff, but obviously the engine still works as an A, so the plenum is not connected to the compressor, there's nothing there, so it's still, sucking the air outside of the compressor, so kind of like a hybrid if you want to say so. But just for the sake of hearing the noise, and obviously if you haven't heard it, then go on Steve's YouTube channel, and even on Facebook we had a couple of videos of how good this engine sounds. And the moment I started the engine, because I said to Steve, look, just because I've bodged this oil line just to make it hit it, this is very, very much bodged. You cannot stay like this, because with vibration of this we will potentially break off. But I say, you know what, just I'm gonna start the car, just have a look for any oil leaks, for obviously for that line, or maybe the return line we have in the sump. Just keep a look at it. The moment I started it, this was Steve's words. It's like he said, it's a shame I didn't have the camera with me because your face was priceless. Is the pure kind of happiness, like, this is great. And yeah, I remember that moment. I was sold. This is the engine I want to keep in the front. I'm not sure what spec. We get to that in a minute. But we absolutely loved it, both of us. Is that kind of raspy, deep noise of 5-cylinder. Not all 5-cylinders sounds as good. This sounds like a proper Audi 5-cylinder from, old school 5-cylinder Audi rally cars. The golden era of motorsport. It really does. It's great. It sounds great on idle, just off the idle, mid-range, high RPMs, everything. It was just beautiful. But the problem is, we kind of made it, we kind of said it like, this is awesome, fuck the vr6, this is way better. So I was like, okay, just cool down. This is not true completely. This engine sounds good, but as you heard, the vr6 sounds mental as well. So I don't think it's fair to say that this one sounds better than that one. To me and to Steve, this one sounds better than the vr6. Not as better in overall, better for this particular application, for what we want to achieve from the car. Let me say what we want to achieve from the car, especially Steve, not me as much. I mean, I do, but for the business, I have to go a different direction. So for Steve, this is kind of like a Hooligan's car, and he's already looking for another MR2 to build with the VR5. I think that engine there, or maybe, no, actually that engine there, as is his turbo, it's his exhaust manifold. That is actually the turbo he's going to use. This is going to produce about 350 brakes, probably on opened engine, because we want to experiment, we want to see how long it stays in one piece, but apparently people have done it, no problems whatsoever, so we're going to go for it. And Hooligan's car means that is instant power, lots of torque, is lots of revs, awesome noises, very responsive, very powerful, just playful, very, very playful car. And, we said this before, it's 350 brakes in some instances for what he wants to use the car is better than 500 brakes, because it's that instant power. That is a car good for daily, track days, racing, it's good for drift days, whatever, you name it. It's a Hooligan's car. It's like in the motorcycles world, it would be like a supermoto, which doesn't make any sense, but it just pisses off everyone, because it's just good, absolutely everyone. You can take that bike absolutely everywhere, to motocross track, to not enduro maybe not, but playing about, yes, to the track, to the road. It just pisses everyone off. It's just unbelievable. And this is kind of like a supermoto in the cars world. But again, you just heard it. This thing is awesome, The moment I say this is great, but then when we hear this, it's like, Jesus, I don't know. It's different, but this is the daddy, This is the daddy of the VR engines, the VR6, the top G, whatever you want to call it. This is the one. But again, this is the one if you want to go for huge power or for the noise or for whatever. The beauty of these, all of this, is that, do you know what? I need to be very clear about one thing. I think I'm quite proud of what we've done so far past these 2-3 years. I mean, it's been a long journey between development and the money I've spent and the sacrifices we did with Steve as well. You know, the time we put into this. You guys don't see the majority. You don't see 90% of this stuff, but it's been a lot. But the result is that we have. Obviously, an MR2, if you have an MR2, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of the greatest hunting cars ever. It really is, you know. It is. And we're so lucky in UK, they're so cheap. Everywhere abroad, they're not 10, 15, 20 grand you need for one of these. Only in UK, we have them so cheap because we think they're cheap cars as the value, but they're not. They're actually absolutely up also. It's just the engine is crap. But now with all this development I was saying we've done, there's so many choices. You get 1.8, which again, I think as a balance, this is the best choice you can have because it's such a simple swap, you know. We got everything. Obviously, this is exaggerated, it's stiff again, but it's just drop in and no-brainer. 280 brakes, 300 if you put a bigger turbo on the standard internals. Actually, in America, they push 350 on the standard internals, standard corners because they're using bigger turbo, but that's another subject. That's a talk for another day. And then you have VR5, but with one of these engines, you have 3 different options. So you can have a VR5 NA, so as it is from the car, you drop it in and you run it. You can have it with a DSG or manual, although DSG didn't come with the VR5s, but they fit, you can make it work. Or those 2 combinations are the one of them with a turbo, if you want to. So, you know, quite few combinations, and you can find, you know, it will please everyone. If it doesn't, then there's another option, which is vr6, which is, yeah, still VR family, but 6-cylinder instead of 5, different noise, different power outputs, blah, blah, blah. But again, using the same gearbox, so you can have it with a DSG or 6-speed manual, turbo or NA. Now, when we're talking NA, it's like, well, what would you do with NA? You know, we prefer turbo, blah, blah, yeah, go for maximum power. It depends. A lot of people doing this, very nice, not all of them, but some of them we've seen, kind of like a kit cars, kind of like replicas. And recently I've seen like a Porsche replica, not the new one, the old Porsche, and it was amazing. It's beautiful. Imagine that thing with the handling of one of these. That would be great. And then you can choose whatever noise, whatever engine you want. And in that one, for example, because it's old school, I personally go with a vr6 NA on throttle bodies, individual throttle bodies behind your ears, behind your head. That would be just orgasm for the ears. So, you know, these possibilities are endless. And because these engines, they fit so good, of course, the VR5 and the VR6, you have to cut the bulkhead. But again, we said this before, not big deal. Many people do it, even with the casework conversions, because it's convenient. And it's actually quite easy. So, you know, this, yeah, I am actually proud of it. Steve is actually pushing me to stop racing on the bikes and go back racing with the cars. He wants me to get the Frog, prepare to be more track orientated, and, you know, go back in the cars, because it would make sense. You know, we're doing this for business. I like driving cars. I like racing cars. I do prefer racing on the bikes, I have to say. So it would kind of have to be, I have to give up on something, but I have to be honest. Last year, I've, you know, raced on the bike 4 seasons, and it was, it was hard because of time. You know, we don't have much of it. So I am kind of thinking about it, and especially when I had my Frog, which I actually forgot about my Frog. You know, it's been in a workshop sitting as a development car. I haven't drove this car for ages, and I start missing it, because when we started 2 days ago with the turbo, with all those awesome noises, it kind of hit me. It's like, hold on, mate, this is your car. People dreaming of cameras like this, and I have one sitting in a workshop, but I don't have a time to finish it. To be honest with you, I don't even have the money to finish it, because you have no idea how much all of this is. This is expensive. Development is expensive, and we're still in the middle of it. So we've been throwing everything into this, you know, and I don't have any spend money at the moment. I'm broke, literally. Well, last season I spent tons of money on my bike racing, all this stuff. So I'm kind of lying right here, but you know what I'm getting with this. So I don't know. Maybe it's a possibility. We'll see. But yeah, you heard the VR6. If you haven't, I'm not gonna make you hear the VR5, because I don't have it works. I don't have the throttle control, because I stole from this guy and put it on there. And also this will sound pretty crap now with no exhaust. I don't know if the battery is alive. It is alive. But obviously with no exhaust it's too loud. It's just pretty shit. But yeah, it works. So you know, it's not far. But yeah, anyways, 1.8 turbo, obviously, because they come turbo. One of the easiest swap you can have, and is great. This is probably one of the most popular swaps we have. Everyone is going for them. They are like hotcakes, because why not? But now we also adding this to the shop, VR5 and VR6, and again we made them turbo. But again, if you see Steve's video where we bragging about how good this sounds and how awesome it is, and I agree 100% with him, and I want to keep the VR5, the VR6 is awesome. Is absolutely savage. This thing is unreal, and you put all of that, potentially about way over 1,000 brakes in a car like this, you know, Jesus. But remember, this is for sale. Well, we have to start mentioning. People don't know we're building this car for sale, because like I said, the last one we saw, we built for sale 1.8. This is the VR6 Turbo for sale. Not gonna be as cheap, obviously, because this is a different brand, but it is. Now this engine is probably gonna be to Steve. Actually, no, that's Steve's engine. We got too many engines, and the pink one with the pink head cover is going to be mine probably. This is the compressed engine already, and that is ready for between 500 and 600 brakes. As much as we probably prefer having the Hooligan setup with a smaller turbo, instant boost, blah blah, because Steve is going to go for manual 6-speed, 300 brakes. I'm probably going to go with MRS 500 DSG, but we'll see about this one. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and I see you next week, because next week there's going to be a big surprise for everyone who owns an MR2, no matter the engine. I'll see you soon. Yep, baby. I like those. I really like them. I have to start using them more often.